Safety Beer and Regulated Beverages Committee meeting for March 2nd, 2020. And I will start with the attendance and the governor's motion to meet electronically. If we can do both at the same time, that will be great. So I'll read the motion and then go down the attendance list. And if you indicate aye, that you are in support of the motion, that'll also go for attendance. So we'll get started. Motion pursuant to Governor Lee's executive order number 78 regarding electronic meetings. I make a motion that this committee meeting agenda constitutes essential business of the Metropolitan Council and that meeting electronically is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak. May I have a
seconded
motion? Thank you. And now for our roll call and attendance vote. Councilman Pulley.
Here.
Can you indicate aye for the motion?
Sorry, aye for my apologies.
Thank you. No problem. Thank you. Councilwoman Johnston.
Aye.
Councilman Nash. Oh, Public Works is still going. I just left there, so he's still in Public Works. Councilmember Roberts.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Councilmember Rosenberg.
Aye.
Aye. Councilmember Swope.
Yes.
Councilman Taylor. Councilman Taylor. I see him on the call. We'll come back. Councilmember Vercher. Councilmember Vercher. Chair votes aye. Councilmember Porterfield.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Councilman Taylor. Okay. Thought I saw him. And Councilmember Vercher. Okay, so we will move on. We have 7 in favor, 0 against. All right, before we get started with the agenda, I've invited Mr. John Bunton, who is the Director of Policy and Community Safety in the Mayor's Office, to give a brief presentation. He'll present on the challenges that Nashville and other cities are facing regarding gun violence and discuss some of the ideas and work that he's been doing to look at ways that we can better support our communities, as well as evidence-based community solutions that other cities are implementing to address this issue. With that, John Bunton, please, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Chair Gamble. Thank you, members of the Public Safety Committee. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you today. I particularly appreciate all of the work that Council members Gamble and Pulley did last fall with the Policing Policy Commission. That work continues to guide our efforts and MMPD initiatives going forward and inspires, indeed directs some of the ideas I want to share with you today. My topic today is gun violence and the need for a community response to a challenge that Nashville, along with every other big city in the country, currently faces. I do have some slides and maps that I would love to share with you. Perhaps I could ask Blake if you'd be willing to pass the ball to me. Thank you very much. Let me see if this works. All right. Can everyone see a title slide that says Gun Violence Overview?
Yes, we can see it.
Fantastic. That is great. So my primary goal for the next couple of minutes is to share some of the data that we've been looking at and it's self-evident. It'll make it very clear why we're so focused on addressing this issue. So first slide is, gun violence this is a national challenge. We saw a significant increase in homicides last year. So did virtually every other city in the country. Many cities experienced sharper increases than we did. And an effective response to this challenge is already underway. There's lots of work happening in this area. So the recent redeployment by MMPD put more than 70 officers in neighborhoods that need the most at the times when they need to be there to prevent crime. Chief Drake reconstituted the Central Homicide Unit. That's working very well. The department is also devoting significant new resources to doing very thorough investigations. And all of these interventions are beginning to pay off. When we look at stats for the past 2 weeks, we see that violent crime is down 40%, and that is obviously very welcome news. However, this challenge, the challenge of gun violence, is still with us. And when you widen the lens and step back, we can see that we are looking at sort of a significant long-term trend. So this graphic sort of takes us back to 2010. The top line are fatal gunshot injuries involving adults. The dotted line involves juveniles. And to have an even broader perspective on sort of what's going on, we've also looked at non-fatal injuries. Again, the top line is adults, bottom line is juveniles. One thing that's really striking about gun violence in Nashville, and this is true of many other cities, is that it is highly concentrated. This is a heat map, and I'll let everyone look at that for a little bit. This shows both fatal shootings and non-fatal shootings. And we can see where the concentrations are for both. And as Nashville and other cities look at this challenge, we are fortunate in that there are evidence-based, community-informed solutions to the problem of gun violence. There are programs that work, and we already have some of those programs working here in Nashville already. So when people in the community safety space sort of talk about community solutions, this is a resource that I pulled from Everytown for Gun Violence, and it broadly reflects sort of the consensus around what evidence-based community-informed solutions look like. And it signals out programs like violence interrupters or street workers. That is an area where there is already extensive work happening here in Nashville. We've got a number of groups that have been doing this difficult work for many years already. We also have innovative programming, restorative justice programming, community courts happening under the direction of Judge Calloway and Judge Bell. Chief Drake recently named Commander David Imhoff to be the head of a new Office of Alternative Policing Strategies. Public health is doing very important work in this area. So when we look at what has worked elsewhere, Nashville is in a very strong position. We're already doing some of these things, and we need to do even more. So right now, we are in the process of looking for ways to support the good work that is already underway. We need to recognize and build on what we're doing well. And as we look to supplement their efforts with other community solutions, we want to be guided by some core principles. And these principles really come out of the work done by the Policing Policy Commission. That framework has at its very center an emphasis on relationships and partnerships. And what we hope to do as we move forward in this year is first begin to reach out to all of you to talk about the challenges that you're seeing and share some of our ideas with you. One of the national best practices in this area is having an experienced person working out of the mayor's office to coordinate community safety initiatives across the entire community. That's something that we're looking at as well. We also need resources to invest in the communities most affected by gun violence, and resources to invest in services. In my conversations with Mayor Cooper, he's been very focused on prevention. And we know that the path to effective prevention means building on what works, investing in additional services and supporting and expanding the good work that's already underway, looking at some of these evidence-based solutions to gun violence. And Nashville is well positioned to build on and implement any number of these strategies. We very much look forward to the opportunity to engage with you on this subject. And as we move into the next budget cycle, we will be looking to invest in this area to address the challenge of gun violence. I'd love to answer any questions that you have, and I look forward to the follow-up conversations to come. I'm happy to come back to any previous slides, Councilmember Gamble, or anything else that people want to look at.
Thank you, John, for your presentation, and we're trying to keep it brief because we do want to get to our agenda, but I'll just say, having served on the Policing Policy Commission and was a part of the community subcommittee, one of the things that we discussed heavily was collective efficacy, working with mental health, social services, nonprofits, and other community groups to do more preventive work, to do more intervention work, and using people, working with or partnering with people in the community that actually have a stake, working with stakeholders in improving public safety in our communities. And this strategy, where you're looking at engagement, collective impact, investment, and coordination is important. Having someone to coordinate that, it seems like a no-brainer, as opposed to having just all of these agencies doing things, because that's kind of what's been happening. All of the agencies are doing their own work toward this effort. But if we are collectively working together, that collective efficacy has shown and been proven in other cities to work. So I appreciate you all looking at this closely and bringing this, to the forefront for our committee as we go and talk in our communities as we move forward and looking for a coordinator for this effort. Are there any questions? I see Council Member Porterfield. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll be very brief. Thank you for that presentation, Mr. Bunton. Very informative. I did have one quick question at the very beginning. I believe you said that, I don't know if you said crime was down over the last 2 weeks. There was a statistic that you gave that was over the last 2 weeks about something being down. I don't know if that was gun violence in particular or crime specifically, but I was wondering if, did you have any data past the last 2 weeks? I know we had a snowstorm, so everyone was locked in the house. So of course we would expect it to be down, but my understanding is that youth violence has been down and trending down even past the last 2 weeks. So I just wanted to know if you had any data on that.
You're muted. We can't hear you.
Apologies for that. Councilmember Porterfield, thank you for making that important point. You're entirely correct, of course, with not attempting to cherry pick our data with the weather, just looking at the sort of 2-week tranche of data that MMPD likes to share. Year to date, I think that when I last looked, I think that violent crime has decreased. Actually, let me get you the specific information on that. We have seen that figure of the 40% decline was just violent crime. It was not gun crime. And we've seen a moderation in the rate of increase that's really occurred since the power shift took place. We're hopeful that's having an effect. It is still very early days. And as you pointed out, the weather is a really important variable in this area. So, part of what we want to do, and one of the reasons we want to move quickly in this area is, as we look to summer, we want to be prepared for whatever could come in that warmer season.
And just to clarify, I'm sorry, Councilmember Porterfield, did you have another follow-up?
No, that was it. Thank you so much. And that means an effort to discredit any progress.
No, totally understood. Totally understood. That was an excellent point.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to clarify the violent crime, the 40% decline, was that just juvenile crime or that was overall, including adult crime? Yeah.
That was overall. And juvenile crime actually, it has trended down slightly. Although we are concerned about juvenile victimization. And of course, there's some worrisome trends in that area.
All right, thank you. Are there any other questions, comments from the committee? Okay, I do not see any other hands. So thank you so much, John, for your presentation today. And we look forward to hearing more information as you all move forward in this effort.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. All right, we will move to our agenda. And, okay, there we go. First on the agenda, we'll start with the resolution. Actually, we only have resolutions on our agenda. And we'll start with Resolution RS 2021-783 by Councilman Parker. Is he on the call? I do not see Councilman Parker. I do not recall receiving a letter or anything to this effect. We'll see if we can get him on the line because he has another resolution coming up. So we will move to Resolution RS 2021-784 by Councilman Sledge. Is he here to talk about? Did not see Councilman Sledge or a letter. Okay. Councilmember Roberts, you're up. We'll start with you.
All right.
Resolution RS 2021-785 exempts the Rock and Dough Pizza Company located at 1105 51st Avenue North from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a beer permit. May I have a motion?
So moved.
And you, well, thank you. Discussion. If you want to tell us about your bill.
Sure. So this one is an easy one. It was the original Corner Pub, and when they went out of business during COVID, they just changed the name, and it became same owners, same everything, and it just became the Rock and Dough Pizza. So this one is really not as much of a. It was already cleared, and now it's just up again with a name change.
Okay. Okay. Any questions, comments? Any further discussion? I'm looking through the queue. I do not see any hands. All right. I'm ready for a vote. We'll, I guess, do a roll call vote. Motion to approve RS Resolution 2021-785. Councilman Pulley.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnston.
Aye.
Councilmember Roberts,
Aye.
Councilmember Rosenberg,
Aye.
Councilmember Swope,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor, have you joined us? Councilmember Vercher. Chair votes aye. Councilmember Porterfield.
Aye.
All right, 7 in favor, 0 against. We'll go to resolution RS 2021-787, approves a contract between the Metro Government and Youth Opportunity Investments LLC for operation and management services for the Davidson County Juvenile Detention Center. Motion for approval.
So moved.
Second. Thank you. Properly moved and seconded. Councilmember Toombs is on the call. Would you like to speak, or someone from the administration like to speak about this bill, resolution?
Forgive me, Chair, which resolution is it?
787 approves the contract between the Metro Government and Youth Opportunity Investments for operation and management of services for the Davidson County Juvenile Detention Facility. And is there anyone here from, go ahead, Juvenile Center?
I know Ms. Sindak was on the budget call.
Yes.
But I know that they've put a lot more metrics and I guess more metrics and more rules in this contract to avoid the situation that happened with the escape of the juveniles. So they've put some processes in place to hold the contractor more responsible. I know there's a lot of conversation around having, private entities run our detention centers. But that's not something that the administration and the juvenile court judge is ready to look at this time. Perhaps down the road when they've got a new building, and then they can look at, who's going to run the detention center. But right now, they feel comfortable with having put those additional metrics and accountability measures in place. And so with that, I'd ask for the committee's approval.
Thank you. See hands, Councilman Pulley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is there anyone from Judge Callaway's office or from the administration here that can speak to a couple of questions that I have?
This is Danielle Godin. Judge Callaway is on the phone line. I think she needs to be unmuted by ITS.
Okay. All right. So can she hear my question, you think?
This is Danielle again. She should be able to. She let me know she's on the phone. I did ask for the last 4 so we can unmute her. So hopefully ITS can get to that quickly.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and ask and we'll see how it works. I think we all understand what happened last time. We gave that a thorough review during public safety committee meetings after the situation. It's not my intent to revisit everything that was discussed in budget committee yesterday. I do have one follow-up question to some of the discussion there, and Councilmember Toombs also alluded to this. There was mention about additional accountability measures, and I just wonder if she can speak to what they are.
Are we able to get Judge Callaway?
This is Danielle again. If Blake, the host, is available, it looks like Judge Callaway is on the 862-7935 line, so that would need to be unmuted.
The 862 number is no longer in the attendee list.
Ugh. It looks like she may have been disconnected.
Okay. Ms. Zeitlin, I see you're on the line. Do you have any information to share about that while we try to get Judge Callaway back?
I'm sorry, I might need the question to be repeated.
Question is, there were accountability measures that have been referred to in the discussion at the Budget Committee and by the sponsor today. And given the nature of what happened last time, I'd sure be interested in what they are. If for some reason we can't get that answer today, I'm happy to get it later.
So there are a lot of different provisions, and the analysis sort of goes through them, and I'm kind of skimming that right now, to be quite honest. But in the event of an escape, youth opportunity investments is not to attempt to apprehend individuals, but rather to immediately call 911, notify the facility director, and notify the juvenile court contract monitor. Any incident that involves the dispatch of EMS must be reported to the contract monitor. YOI must perform a monthly inspection of all safety equipment, including locks and video monitoring equipment. There's also a liquidated damages clause of $10,000 per incident of non-performance.
The only accountability measure I heard you say was the liquidated damages clause of $10,000 per incident. Right.
Excuse me, Judge Calloway is back on the attendee list. If we can move her up to participant, let's see what number.
This is Danielle again. It looks like her line should be unmuted now. So if she just uses the unmute function on her own, she should be able to speak, hopefully.
Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Judge Calloway, for joining us. Okay, so.
I'm sorry. I kept saying, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
No problem. Thank you so much for joining. And Councilman Pulley, if you want to restate your question.
And I think I heard some of your question, Councilman Pulley,
okay.
About, and I thank you all for stepping up. Council Lady Bennett and Toombs for saying the things that have changed. We definitely have a lot of more teeth, I guess, in the contract than we had the last time around at this point. There are immediate fines and fees that would have to be paid if there were if there were anything that went wrong as to the contract. And so we are confident that an incident like the one that happened a couple of months ago would not happen, or we're hopeful that it would not happen again. One of the other things that I also want to remind the council too is we went through the procurement process in order to do this. As part of the procurement process, there were three agencies nationwide that actually applied to do this contract. One of the agencies that applied did not fully complete the application, and so they were disqualified. So it came down to two different institutions, the current YOI and another one that was out of Colorado. I think it was Colorado. I could be wrong on that. It may have been Arizona, but somewhere out west. And the cost of their contract was significantly higher, and their lack of understanding or information about how to run our facility was definitely less than what YOI was offering. And not to say that I think YOI is in a position that they can definitely run the facility the way that it needs to be run. And I heard you all talking earlier with John Button about youth crime. Our crime arrest numbers are definitely down as well, which has helped YOI tremendously. They don't have the same staffing issues that they were having previously. Since the numbers are down, they're able to do better training and keep their staff longer and pay their staff more. So there has been a great change in the services that they've been doing and offering. And I think through the procurement process, it was clear that they were the best agency to run the program.
Thank you. Any follow-up, Councilman Pulley?
Nothing further. Thank you very much, Judge Calloway.
Thank you. Are there any other questions regarding Resolution 787? for Judge Calloway. And Judge Calloway, I look forward to having your office present at our next meeting on March 16th about some of the needs that you all have at the Juvenile Justice Center.
Great, thank you. I know that had to be rescheduled. We're excited about it, attending.
Thank you. All right, if there's no other discussion on this bill, we're ready for a motion to approve or vote on this approval.
So moved.
And thank you. I'll do a roll call vote. Councilman Pulley.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnston.
Aye.
Councilmember Nash, have you joined us? I don't see Nash. Councilmember Roberts.
Aye.
Councilmember Rosenberg.
Aye.
Councilmember Swope.
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor.
Aye.
Councilmember Vercher. Chair votes aye. Councilmember Porterfield.
Aye.
All right, thank you. 8 in favor, 0 against. And we'll go back to Councilmember Sledge. Resolution 2021-784 exempts Spice, I guess that is, LLC, located at 2909 12th Avenue South from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a beer permit. Motion to approval. Motion for approval.
So moved.
Second, motion motioned and properly seconded. Councilman Sledge, would you like to speak about your bill?
No, just asking for the committee's approval. Thank y'all.
Any questions, any discussion? I will just ask if there is anything unique about this particular request and the minimum distance requirement regarding the request.
Nothing unique. It's an existing restaurant that is on 12th Avenue South. They've just had a changeover, and what triggered it is they're near Sevier Park.
Oh, thank you. Any other questions, discussion? I don't see any hands in the queue. All right, we'll take a roll call vote. Councilman Pulley.
Aye.
Johnston.
Aye.
Councilman Roberts.
Aye.
Councilmember Rosenberg.
Aye.
Councilmember Swope.
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor.
Aye.
Councilmember Vercher. Chair votes aye. Councilmember Porterfield.
Aye.
All right, 8 in favor, 0 against. Thank you. And I do not believe Councilman Parker has joined us, and there is no one else signed on to his resolutions. So for that, Ms. Zeitlin, do they automatically defer to our next meeting?
Yes, unless there's anybody on the committee that wants to sign on to the bill and carry it as a sponsor, then otherwise, if the sponsor's not present, then yeah, they'll need to be deferred.
Councilmember Porterfield, you recognize.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Zeitlin, do you know if this was a time-sensitive request? If it's time-sensitive, I'm willing to sign on to help our colleague. If it's not time-sensitive and it can wait, then it could come back before us.
I'm not aware of any time sensitivity for either of these. That's not to say there's not. I just am not aware of anything.
Hi, this is Elizabeth Waits. If I could be recognized, Chair.
Yes, please.
Our office facilitates the notices on these. And so the applicants have been invited to this WebEx. I just wanted to take a moment and see if any of them had are in attendance right now. They may be able to speak to that question. Landon Breezeel is one of the applicants, and he has his hand raised, Chair.
Okay, great. Mr. Breezeel, you are recognized.
Hey, council members. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak here. My name is Landon Breezeel. I'm with Schaefer Law Firm. We represent East Nashville Beerworks. If anyone is able to, pick up this, we would greatly appreciate it. They've already deferred it once out of a courtesy, and we would just ask that this does move forward, if at all possible.
May I speak to that, Chair? Elizabeth Wade.
Yes.
It's like Councilman Parker.
Yes, he has joined us. Wonderful.
Joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman Parker. We are on your bill 783 and would like to hear from you regarding the bill.
Okay, thank you, Chair. And I appreciate y'all's grace here. I was in Public Works, ran late. Anyway, 783, can you?
Yes, that exempts East Nashville Beer Works located at 320 East Trinity Lane from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a beer permit.
Yes, Chair. I'm in full support of this. East Nashville Beer Works previously had a beer permit exemption. They're expanding their outdoor seating area to include a children's play area. It's a very family-friendly place. I think this is going to be a great addition to the business.
Thank you. Are there any questions or further discussion about this resolution? I do not see any hands. So we'll take this one and then we'll go to your next one that was on the at the end of the agenda. Roll call vote on Resolution 2021-783. Councilman Tully?
Aye.
Councilmember Johnston?
Aye.
Councilmember Roberts?
Aye.
Councilmember Rosenberg?
Aye.
Councilmember Swope?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Aye.
Councilmember Vercher? Chair votes aye. Councilmember Porterfield?
Aye.
And has Councilmember Nash joined us? I'll just say, okay. All right, 8 in favor, 0 against. And now we'll go to the last item on our agenda, Resolution RS 2021-786 by Councilman Parker, exempts Southern Guides Brewing Company located at 750 Douglas Avenue from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a beer permit. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Thank you. Moved and properly seconded. Discussion. Councilman Parker.
Thank you again, Chair, and thanks again to the committee for your patience. Yeah, we're super happy to welcome Southern Grist over in District 5. They outgrew their old location, and I went and visited their new site and had a talk with the proprietor, encouraged them to reach out to the immediate neighbors in the area. And I'm supportive of this resolution, and I hope we can get it approved here, and then we'll maybe hear from community members tonight.
Great. So this one is on public hearing. Okay. Any further discussion? I don't see any hands. With that, we'll take the roll call vote. Councilman Pulley.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnston.
Aye.
Councilmember Roberts.
Aye.
Councilmember Rosenberg.
Aye.
Councilmember Swope.
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor.
Aye.
Councilmember Vercher. Chair votes aye. Councilmember Porterfield.
Aye.
All right, 8 in favor, 0 against. And that concludes our agenda. Thank you all.